So when it comes to preparing for the MCAT, in a typical college student's academic career in undergrad, you're never going to sit for any 7 hour long exam. That's just not happening.
No.
So outside of just getting ready for the MCAT from our content and strategy standpoint, how do you coach students for the actual, dealing with the mental demand of sitting for such a long exam?
I love that. Yeah, I was speaking with a group of students just the other day about this because you have to take practice exams as part of your preparation, and you have to take full length exams, and you have to take them under
Yeah.
testing conditions. And students often will nod along as though, yeah, I always take it, under perfect testing conditions. I'm like, really? Do you? How are you going to feel on your actual test date? You're probably going to sleep terrible the night before. You're going to have a mediocre breakfast
Hmm.
if you eat at all. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to be in a testing center where there are maybe fluorescent lights and not everyone next to you is quiet and there's background noise and all this kind of stuff. Except when we take practice tests at home, we're comfortable, in our chair. Maybe we're just in, extra comfortable clothes we might not be wearing out and all this kind of stuff. So I tell students all the time, take your practice exams uncomfortably because you're going to feel uncomfortable on test day. So you need to make sure that your practice mimics real world situations, right? You need to stress test yourself. So before you take
Hmm.
a practice exam, sleep 5 hours the night before.
This video is sponsored by the Funding Masterclass for International Students by Sojourning Scholar. Are you dreaming about earning a US education but worried about the cost? What if I told you it's possible to get your degree debt-free? As someone who's been in your shoes, I secured over $300,000 in free funding for my education. Now, I've created the Funding Masterclass to help you do the exact same. In this step-by-step program, you will learn how to access scholarships, grants, assistantships, and more tailored specifically for international students. With access to our funding library and several pre-built templates and an exclusive private community for support, you will have everything you need to secure the funds to study in the US debt-free. So take the next step in your journey of studying abroad by heading to sojourningscholar.com/FMC and join us today. I'll see you inside the program. And now let's get back to the video.
I want you to feel that edge a little bit.
Wow.
Drink coffee.
5 hours.
Raise your
Not 8 hours, but 5 hours.
yeah. Drop because you're not going to sleep well. Almost always you're going to sleep poorly the night before a standardized test. Raise your heart rate. Drink some coffee. Sit in a part of your house that you don't necessarily sit somewhere that's not as common for you to study or to take a practice exam. And make sure it's under test conditions. Keep your breaks to exactly when the breaks will be. Start your practice exams at the exact time of day you're going to take the actual exam. So keep all the variables as close to that as possible because part of stamina has to do with, taking tests for 7+ hours. But then part of the mental thing is you're never going to experience the real test day will bring certain challenges that unless you replicate it during your practice, you're just not going to be prepared for. It's going to throw you off. Also, give yourself less time when you take practice tests. So we've all had the experience where we're taking a practice test at home. We finish on time. Everything's on time. Maybe we finish early. It felt as at ease. But then when you're on the actual test, you're locked in on every question. And maybe you're taking more time per question than you were at home. So give yourself 90% of the total testing time. See if you can do it a little bit faster because on test day, we all have a tendency to obsess over, ooh, I don't know if it's right. I'm debating between these two choices. And because now the stakes are real. You have to recreate that situation and prepare yourself for the real thing.